There is one thing that you must do on the sales call. Do you know what it is? The basics. The basic fundamentals. You need to know the problem. You need to know the impact of the problem. You need to know the person's beliefs and their mental models and their mind viruses and pre-handle all of that. You do not need to do some advanced NLP or some reframing or some complicated analogy or memorized word track or some upside down handstand that now the prospect thinks, oh my God, this person's really cool and I've had this great rapport, or anything advanced. You do not need to do anything advanced. But what I find all the time with salespeople, and I saw this with Gym Launch, I see this with sales teams that were doing multiple millions of dollars a month, but they ended up being able to do a lot more than that. And salespeople that come to me and want training, before this gets handled, they have replaced the basics for all of these advanced tactics. And the advanced tactics can sometimes work as a cherry on top of the cake, but they will not work at the level that they should if you're missing the basics. You must stick to the basics. And I know that sounds so obvious, but you, as a salesperson, if you are honest with yourself, you are not sticking to the basics on every call. You are missing clarifying the problem. You're missing having an authentic conversation. You're missing being fully present. You're missing probing on different words or phrases that the prospect says. You're missing some of these basics. And so the rule is consistently apply the basic fundamentals. Don't worry about advanced tactics. I'll say it again. Consistently apply the basic fundamentals. Don't worry about advanced tactics. If you replace your basics for advanced tactics, you are not closing at the level that you could. You are not making the money that you could. Now, I've mentioned my mastermind a few times. It's important that you know that as someone that's trained salespeople in some of the largest sales organizations in the high ticket space, top sales teams that you'll have heard of, I see that a lot of salespeople never got taught the basic fundamentals correctly. Because when they come to me, or I do training one-on-one with sales teams, private clients, and I review their calls, I ask them, why did you not do this, something that's a basic fundamental? And they look at me with a blank face, like, oh, I didn't think about that, or I don't know how to do that, is sometimes the answer. If you feel like you didn't actually master the basics, because just being okay at the basics is not good enough. You need to have mastered the basics and consistently stay at a very high level of competency over the basics. And if you think that you may not understand what those basics are and you don't want to lose deals by not doing the basics, I recommend that you check out my Unicorn Closer Mastermind. There'll be a link above, below. You can go to the website and you can read the information there on what we teach inside the mastermind, because I have trained so many salespeople that have blown my mind that they didn't know the basics. They didn't know what they were. They didn't know how to implement them on a call. They weren't executing them consistently. And I was very fortunate that when I invested in a mentor, the very first day I got into sales, he taught me the right basics. And he is now the mentor to my mentees, my students. We both co-mentor all of the students inside of the Unicorn Closer Mastermind that we run together. And so if you're unsure if you've got those basics down, or you think that you've missed some or you haven't been taught them, then I highly recommend that you check out the mastermind, because this rule is make or break. If you do not hit the basics on every single call, you will not close the deal. Doesn't matter how incredible your word track was, or your reframe, or your analogy, or some wizardry advanced tactic that you did. If you miss the basics, you are flushing your commission down the toilet.